we're all human beings. There's an element of us that we are social creatures, and we are going to be affected by what happens. Okay, so if you look at history, like, when the Muslims used to fight and participate in wars and stuff, they would actually be separated into clans and tribes. Okay, and then there was one battle, I think it was a battle of Qadisiyah, where the Muslims were losing, and they basically saw that the weakest people were this specific tribe. And then the Amir, he sent a message to those people saying, don't be the reason why the Muslims are humiliated today. Okay? And so then these guys, obviously they heard that and they were like, yes, we can't be, right? And they started fighting, and they became basically the strongest of fighters on that day. Because, right, there is that natural human thing that we have where we do want to do well. We want to be recognized. We have this human emotional need for significance, for love, for connection, for all of these things. And so I think as human beings, we have to realize that these are a natural part of us. It's not about shutting these things down and going, no, I don't want no significance. I don't want nothing. Because that's not realistic. It's not true. It's not real in that sense, right? But the key is for it not to control us, and for it not to overpower us, and for it not to take us down a specific direction. So for example, when we're in these situations, when we're going to do something for Allah, I think the first thing is that you have to make sure that you start with the right intentions. Starting with the right intentions is one of the most important things, right? So you need to be clear that, look, I'm about to do this thing, yeah? And I'm going to do this thing, and of course it's going to have recognition, it's going to have praise. These are all byproducts, these are all bonuses. But really and truly, like, what's the real reason that I'm going to do this? Why am I doing this? What's the thing around this, right? And you have to talk yourself into, I'm doing it for Allah. Like, eventually that is what you have to come to. And the reason why I'm saying that is because everything else that you do it for apart from Allah is nothing except a cheap thrill. Is nothing except a cheap thrill. Why is it a cheap thrill? Because a cheap thrill is that you will do something small for the sake of Allah, right? Let's say you give some water away to someone. This action, if you do it and someone else sees you and they go, oh, Aftab's such a nice guy, man. He gave water away. That makes you feel good, right? You feel recognition, you feel good, your ego gets justified, all that stuff. And then it's like, that's it, it's gone. So you got that cheap thrill for that 3 seconds or 8 seconds or 1 minute, and it's gone. But if you do that for Allah specifically, the reward for that is actually everlasting. And what Allah is going to give you is like unimaginably better than that cheap thrill. So you have to make a decision with yourself that, do I just want lots of cheap thrills? Or do I want like real reward, real recognition, real pleasure and bliss from this, right? And I think this is the key, because a lot of the times, like as human beings, we do jump to that 1 minute, 1 second kind of pleasures, but that's what the mistake is. So I would say get clear in your mind that you're doing something for Allah. Realize that whenever you're doing this for any other reason, you're always going to be at a loss. It's never as good as what it could be, right? Then what I would say is, once you've set the direction and you said, right, this is the direction I'm going in, part of it is to course correct. So what you can't do, I can't actually go, right, I'm going to do this leadership role for Allah. I'm very clear and I'm sincere 100% in my heart. I'm doing for Allah, for the ummah, for this, for this. If I just go on that one intention alone, it's not enough. It's not enough. Why? Because it's like a plane. You know, when a plane takes off from one destination to get to another destination, they say it goes off course hundreds of times, maybe thousands of times. It keeps going off course. And what they do is they keep course correcting to eventually get to their destination. So with your intentions, with your mindset, it's the same thing, that as you're taking this journey, you have to keep course correcting. So as soon as like someone says something good to you, you need to course correct yourself. And you need to be like, okay, that's nice, but remember, I'm doing this for Allah. So you keep reminding yourself, I'm doing this for Allah, right? And there was a really amazing dua of, I think it was Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, who made this dua when someone praised him. He said that, oh Allah, do not hold me accountable for what they say. So if someone says, oh, Aftab's a great guy, you don't want to be held accountable. You don't want to be on the day of judgment and Allah's asking you, Aftab, you thought you were great? Like, did you, like, you don't want that, yeah? So it's like, oh Allah, do not hold me accountable for what they say. Forgive me for the sins they don't know about. So there's sins that I'm doing right now, which if you guys knew, you wouldn't even want to be near me, right? So it kind of brings your mind down. It's like, I'm not accountable for this. Like, you're Allah, the one who's giving me this result. They don't know about the sins that I do, okay? Forgive me for those sins and make me better than they think of me. So the way that they're thinking of me, make me better. Sometimes people just give you lip service, right? They're like, oh, Aftab, you're such a nice guy, when in their heart they think, oh, this guy's an idiot. And that's why this dua is amazing, because it's saying, make me better than even what they're thinking of me. So this kind of way of thinking, these 3 points that Abu Bakr made in dua, I think is very good for humility, for getting you onto that kind of thing. And then once you've finished this action, which is a good action you did for the sake of Allah, you kept fixing your mindset during it and all of that stuff, and you kept resetting your intentions. Once you've done it, then you have to thank Allah for it. Because then it's like, okay, this is done now and it was great. But you know what? There's no way that I would have ever been able to do it without Allah.